What is up? It is Kenji, and before you dislike the video and leave a hate comment, watch the whole thing. Let me elaborate on what I mean by the title. I want to ask you something. Have you ever heard of the tale of a little weasel named Johnny Somali? If you haven't, he is basically known by almost everyone as the internet's biggest punching bag, and for good reason. The guy goes around harassing strangers for content, so he calls it, and more particularly in other countries. This landed him in some pretty hot water and could be facing serious jail time. This is what we'll be covering in this video and why I think a different type of punishment for this absolute melon is necessary. Anyways, let's begin. Johnny Somali for quite some time has been a menace to society and an awful person. Just in case you don't know, basically what this guy does for a living is he goes around public places and harasses random strangers. Yes, I know, it's so original, very funny to 12-year-olds I guess, but that's not all. If that wasn't bad enough, he goes around in public places making himself a target, and does this in other countries, such as Japan, and more notably, South Korea. And if that wasn't enough to make you cringe at this pathetic loser, the fact that he gets his face pummeled like a funfair hitting machine just might. Yep, the cherry on top is the fact that he gets his face pounded everywhere he goes. Wait, that sounded wrong. And the worst part is, he doesn't even fight back. He just lets everyone hit him like he's a pinata for knuckles. Anyways, back on track. Johnny Somali decides to head to South Korea to do some actually pretty usual stuff for him, to be fair, but the South Koreans didn't take this too kindly. Some of the stuff he did includes, but is not limited to, giving a Korean comfort statue a lap dance, and playing offensive and loud music on the subway, harassing convenience store workers, and 4 other offenses that I'll put on screen right here. But what brings us here today? Well, Mr. Somali was arrested by South Korean police. The idiot finally got arrested and might be facing up to 20 years in South Korean prison. Now, before we discuss this, let me give my view on the modern prison systems. Okay, we're gonna go a bit off track here, but stick with me. Most people, for whatever reason, believe that criminals are subhuman and should be treated like animals, aka the Western prison systems. People think that the best way to deal with crime and stop it from happening is to punish those who dealt the crime. Now, of course, some types of people can't be changed, such as psychopaths, or the worst types of people to exist that start with P, you know the people I'm talking about. But besides them, this is, to me, a very primitive and hateful way of thinking, and shouldn't be the norm in this day and age. But there are a few countries in a specific region on this planet that have a very different mindset on prison, and that region is Scandinavia. You see, in Scandinavian countries, the prison systems work very, very differently, and actually statistically benefit from it compared to the prison systems from most of the world. These prison systems focus on rehabilitation and therapy, and you want to know why? Because those people in the prisons are going to re-enter society one day. These prisons statistically have better outcomes, and the regions have lower crime rates because of them. Anyways, I am a very, very big supporter of these prison systems, and as a person with severe ADHD, I wouldn't wish long-term prison on my worst enemy, most of the time at least. I couldn't imagine me spending more than 5 years in a prison without being able to experience life. I often like to put myself in other people's shoes, and this often leads to me in some situations feeling a lot of empathy. But don't worry, I'm not going to start claiming I'm an empath or anything, as empathy for me can be very situational, but I do feel it in a lot of situations that resonate with me. Okay, back onto Johnny. Sorry about that. I really feel like a harsh prison sentence is not what he needs. This guy isn't mentally well. He's a sick puppy. And no, I'm not defending anything he did. He absolutely should be held accountable for everything, and nothing he did was good in any way. But saying that, it's very likely the guy isn't even going to last a year in South Korean prison. He will likely end up outside the prison in a body bag. You saw those clips of him being pummeled to the ground. The dude's a toothpick. You know how bad American prisons are towards people of their own country? Imagine how that'll go down in Korea. It's basically a death sentence. At this point, it's not even about the 20 years. He won't last that long. It'll be a miracle if he even lasts 2. Look, as I said, I'm not defending him, I just feel like he needs help. mentally. I feel bad for him, not because of anything that is happening to him. I just feel bad that he is this unwell. He can't think properly and he just wants the craved attention, which landed him here. In conclusion, I really feel like this brain-dead muffin with legs needs help, but it's too late for that. He doesn't deserve death by an inmate, he deserves mental help and re-evaluation. But I do understand Korea has their own culture and how they do things over there, and I respect that. But I think prisons all over the world could benefit for a Scandinavian type system. And remember, I don't think anything he did was acceptable in any way. I just feel like he's a bit mentally unwell and needs treatment.
Anyway, that'll be about it for this video. If you did enjoy it, please leave a like and let me know your thoughts on this topic. I'd love to hear it. If you do want to see more content like this, I do gaming and discussion based videos, so if either of those sound interesting, consider subscribing. Anyways, that'll be about it. This is Kenji, and I am out.